Good morning once again, dear students, and welcome to your social science class. So, students, we were doing chapter number 5 from your history book, When People Rebel, 1857 and After. So, in the last class, that is in the previous period, we discussed about the Sepoy Mutiny of 1857 and how this rebellion started with the hanging or execution of a sepoy called Mangal Pandey to being the most wonderful part of the Indian history where Indian people showed unity and also showed immense cooperation through which the British East India Company was shaken. So today we will move on to the next topic of this chapter, and that is the rebellion spreads. So let us begin. So when the British returned from Delhi, then there was no uprising for almost a week. So when there was no uprising, therefore the British thought that now everything is under control. But little by little, mutinies in various parts of the country started to begin. So regiment after regiment means a unit of the army in different places. So, in various places, wherever there were the sepoys, wherever there were organized groups of sepoys, they started moving against the British. And slowly, they started to join the various troops, the various members of the army in the nodal points. Nodal points were the major points where the rebellion reached its heights. For example, Delhi, Kanpur, and Lucknow. So everybody was now for sure they wanted the British to be out. They were sure of the rebellion, they were sure of the mutiny, and they wanted the British out of their own country and they wanted to establish peace. So, one after another, the rebels started, and especially this rebellion became very active in the northern part of India. So, in various parts of India, where there were the prince and the rulers who were locally ruling at one point of time, even they thought of standing up in support of the sepoys. And there were many leaders, such as Nana Sahib of Kanpur, Birjas Qadar of Lucknow and his mother Begum Hazrat Mahal, Rani Lakshmibai, etc., who took active part so that the sepoys are organized, so that all the people are organized, and this uprising, this mutiny against the British is carried on. So Nana Sahib was the adopted son of late Peshwa Bajirao, and he proclaimed himself to be the Peshwa. And because of that, he gathered armed forces and also he ensured to expel the British garrison from Kanpur. Garrison means the British army. So whoever was there belonging to the British army in Kanpur, Nana Sahib did his best to remove those. Then in Lucknow, Birjas Qadar proclaimed himself to be the new Nawab and even his mother helped him. And both Nana Sahib and Birjas Qadar, both of them, they took Bahadur Shah Zafar as the leader. Okay, so they took Bahadur Shah Zafar as their leader and they became Nawabs or Peshwas. So in Jhansi, even Rani Lakshmi Bai was controlling her kingdom. So she joined the sepoys who were already against the British, and also she had the companionship of Tantia Top. So Tantia Top is the general of Nana Sahib. So both of them they joined hands with the rebel sepoys, and ultimately they defeated the British in their place. They were successful in moving out the British of their place to a certain extent. Then again, there is another instance in the Mandala region of Madhya Pradesh where Rani Avantibai Lodhi of Ramgarh raised and led an army against the British who had taken over the administration of her state. So Rani Avantibai was sure to take back her kingdom from the British who conquered it from her. So the entire scene of this mutiny disturbed the British very much. They started to become afraid. They were afraid and they were petrified at whatever unitedly the Indians were doing against them. So, one such incident can be given in this context. So, on 6th of August 1857, a British Lieutenant Colonel, Titler, he wrote his commander in chief expressing the fear felt by the British due to the spreading of the Sepoy Mutiny in India like wildfire. So, this shows that the British were petrified. They were extremely scared of whatever was happening in India, and they were sure that now the British rule in India is coming to an end very soon. So there were numerous battles that were fought in various cities and in various places within India, and in most of them, surprisingly, the British were defeated. And that happened mostly because of the unity and cooperation that people had within each other. So ultimately, in all over India, the Sepoy Mutiny gained popularity, and the most widespread and the most popular rebellion developed somewhere in Awadh. So, apart from the royals, that means apart from the Nawabs and the Peshwas, even new leaders came up against the British. So, let us read something about those new leaders. So, first is Ahmadullah Shah. So, he was a Maulavi. Maulavi means a religious scholar. So, Ahmadullah Shah, a Maulavi from Faizabad, he prophesied that the British rule would collapse soon. So, Ahmadullah Shah made the people believe that the British rule should come to an end soon, because of which we need to join hands and fight against them. Next, we can talk about the large number of Ghazis. Ghazis were the religious warriors. So, all of them, they came together in Delhi and fought against the British. Then comes the name of Bakht Khan, who was a soldier in Bareilly and who took charge of a large number of fighters who came to Delhi, who were mainly, the fighters were mainly British. So when they came to Delhi, then Bakht Khan was the leader of that group to defeat them. So in Bihar, Kuwar Singh battled the British for several months. And not only these people, but leaders from different parts of India joined the rebellions at various places and ultimately made the Sepoy Mutiny one of the first examples of movement for freedom within India against the British. So, this is how the mutiny spread, and now it's time for your homework. So, this homework I have assigned to you, taking into consideration both the second and third period. So, first question is, what objections did the sepoy have to the new cartridges that they were asked to use? Objection means why the sepoys did not want to use the new cartridges. What problem did they have in using those? Next, who was Mangal Pandey and why was he hanged till death? That you know already. What is a mutiny? And lastly, whom did the rebel sepoy proclaim as their leader? That is Bahadur Shah Zafar, as I already told you. And why? The answer I'm sure you know by now. So these are your four questions. These are very short questions. So once you go through all the slides, make sure that you read the textbook uh, till at least page number 58. And when we meet next, we will be going to the next topic of this chapter, that is the company fights back. And if possible, we will also try to look at the aftermath or the outcome of this mutiny. So that's all for today, students. Thank you so much.